Why did I pick this? Because the formula is not the standard Western formula. Hello, today I'd like to talk with you about the new Yves Saint Laurent quads. They're called Couture Mini Clutch. I picked two colors, but this is my favorite. It is the 100 one. This is not baked gelée, but is not the standard powder either. So you can see here that there is no metallic pen. So it's a new formula, and it seems that the entire quad can be popped out. As a consequence, you can't depot these eyeshadows. This is quite an original color story, in my opinion, at least for me, because it doesn't have a clear undertone. It's very neutral and is grayish. Usually, classic quads with taupes tend to lean towards pink or orange. They have a visible undertone. For example, the Chanel tweed quad, brunette rose it was called. I add that quad and I declutter it. You can watch my video about it. It had pink undertone that was quite prominent. I could detect it on my skin. This one, I see a little bit of sepia. Is actually what I wish Dior Poncho was like. It has one matte, one metallic, and these are satin. I wanted to try the formula. And my conclusion is that this quad is the Western counterpart of Suqqu. Because the formula is very thin, it seems it is infused with primer. So it's quite long lasting, much longer lasting than Suqqu. So this has become my, let's say, workhorse quad. I've already worn it quite a bit, although it doesn't seem so. So I would like to share with you swatches and maybe a formula comparison. So this is the metallic one. The metallic one is quite glittery. And I would say it may be my least favorite formula because I don't like when it looks so grainy. That means that it emphasizes texture. On the other hand, it's quite trendy of a finish because it's kind of wet looking. So it's not my favorite, but I can understand why it can be the favorite of many. And then we have a matte here. The matte brown is great. I like the texture. It's quite similar to Suqqu. I would say the matte is almost undistinguishable compared to Suqqu. I love this shade. I can sheer it out. It has the thin quality that I have seen only in Japanese eyeshadows until now. While this is made in Italy. Then there's this very elegant shade that is a taupe, satin taupe. It's very sophisticated. What can you detect here? On my skin, it leans a bit pink, but on my lids, I don't see that pink undertone. And finally, we have this one. To be honest, this is less impressive just because it's a satin cream color. It disappears on my lids. I could have done without it. So I don't see the purpose of this other than just the subtle shine. I mainly built my looks with these three. So this is the quad and it's my favorite one. The second one that I would like to buy, I may wait for a deal maybe, it's the 400. The 400, it is the mauve one and it has a metallic eyeshadow placed here at the top right that seems amazing. But since I'm not fond of the metallic formula like this, I can wait for it. I don't feel the urgency to buy the quad. I also purchased the 600 that is more subtle and pink leaning, but I don't want to touch that because I'm considering to declutter it. But this is a workhorse because these are perfect tones that are very balanced. It has a uniqueness in that. I may dupe this with my Surat. The two main advantages are the thin quality and the long-lasting performance. This, to me, is the classic office quad, or also the basis for other looks. This quad is quite small. It's smaller than expected, and it has this false leather plushy cover that mimics the bags. I like everything about it. It's not magnetic. It has a closure that, however, is hidden. And there is that. It's only 4 grams. That still is double the Chanel one. As you can see, it's much smaller than a Suqqu quad. And yeah, this is the 101, one of my favorite quad, and I just wanted to have a feeling of the mats. I would say these are softer. The Yves Saint Laurent ones are softer compared to the Suqqu. The Suqqu one are silkier, even lighter. On the skin, they look identical because of the thin quality of the Yves Saint Laurent ones. So if you find that Suqqu is very difficult to get, well, this is a nice alternative. Although it's more conservative in terms of color stories, at least the ones that are provided right now. They indulge a lot into pinks. There are a lot of pinks. The 400, the 500, the 600 are all different tones of pink. I would recommend it. It's a nice texture, a nice formula to try. Still, I would say Suqqu is my favorite. Especially the shimmer, I prefer the Suqqu shimmer. They emphasize less the texture of my lids. But this, it's a new formula, not a standard one. So it may be worth a trial. See you in my next video. Bye bye.